Greetings, folks, and welcome to episode, I don't know, 3 is it? 3 or 4 of Space Engineers. So a little catch up. We're still in our respawn pod. I haven't exactly played very much. I put about 2 hours in off of screen play, flying towards planet, which has gotten considerably bigger than it was. I also did some modifications to the ship. We're still in the respawn ship though. I suppose I want to take you through the modifications I made um, in the 2 hours. Sort of 2-3 hours maybe, something like that. Ooh, I'll turn my booster on. Yeah, I literally just logged in for the first time in ages. Been busy, life stuff. Might tell you about it sometime. Moving on. Yeah, so I gave it a recolor because, you know, we got feet, so we can land on that moon. Not that planet, that moon. The moon is our target. Right. I built one of these. This is an ore detector. Basically because flying up to asteroids, searching for ore, that's not the most fun thing to do. This is where we get to the fun part. Yeah, I put a couple of gun turrets. It's just to keep people away from it whilst I'm logged out. Legit, I just don't want this thing getting wrecked now that I put like a little bit of effort into it. So what else did we do? Well, this is the oxygen generator. As you can see, this used to be here. It wasn't. It wasn't powering that. That, of course, is our hydrogen engine. Far too far away. We'll never reach that. We'd need a jump drive. Anyway, hydrogen engine. It now works. Yeah, it wasn't working because this is a cargo thing, and as I suspected, it wasn't. Stuff wasn't going through properly. So yeah, the O2 tank gone, and we've got a refinery there. Well, a basic refinery. We then have a basic assembler. This is only basic. We don't have like a proper refinery or a proper assembler. We've only got the basic stuff, but we were able to get our ore detector online. We've also got an antenna built. I did that for reasons of being civilized and not wanting to shoot people and stuff. Basically, the antenna's there so that if we happen to find a friendly station or somewhere that we can trade with, we can show ourselves before approaching, basically. And because, you know, just showing up, that can be a little suspicious. Whereas, you know, if you sort of like clearly display yourself and you're approaching, and obviously chatting with whoever's there as well, it makes people a lot more freaking comfortable, you know? Like, you know, you've got an antenna. You can't exactly be deceitful once you have an antenna, you know, unless you're like keeping it turned off for whatever reason. That's just, yeah, don't. Okay, haven't mucked around with the gyro at all, other than give it a recolor. We haven't stripped off any of the engines or anything. We did give ourselves some extra solar panels. I haven't finished 2 of them because we ran out of silicone, effectively. And that is about it. We've got an unknown signal nearby, but I'm reluctant to go after it because it's 3 kilometers in the wrong direction. Okay, I think we want the external view for sure. So yeah, it's a respawn ship. It is still a respawn ship, even after all the work I've done to it and giving it a new paint job. I think the only way to stop it being a respawn ship is to strip the thing down. We are looking for silicone so that we can finish off the solar panels, but obviously we're also moving towards our intended target of the moon. I want to make a landing on the moon. That's kind of my priority mission right now. I want to make that a thing, but obviously it's a fair distance. Now I did put turrets in. This thing's, it's terrible. I'm going to be honest. Those guns might keep like a random crazy person away, maybe, possibly. They won't shoot at neutrals, so if a neutral approaches the ship, they won't shoot unless, I don't know, maybe the neutral does something to damage the ship. Maybe that'd cause them to try and shoot. But obviously, there's a whole lot of area that they don't actually cover. So there are other players, obviously, because we're still in open play. I think I can even send messages. Yeah, I can. Look, there's lots of other people here as well. We're just doing our standard 100 meters a second run whilst keeping an eye out for. Well, as I've said, I'd love it if we could find a wreck of some kind. If we come across any player stuff, like I said, we'll look at it and admire it. We might even walk around it if it doesn't try to shoot us. But we're not going to mess with other people's stuff. What is that light source over there? Part of me wants to go over there and have a look, because I know it's just shadows and I know I'm going to regret this, even if it isn't shadows. We're just going to go over and have a look. There's no harm in just looking. I feel like maybe I ought to turn my gun turrets off, but they won't shoot at neutrals, so we're just gonna drift over and see. I know it's just going to be a rock. Haven't played this game in a while. You know, it's been a few days, and I come back and I'm always super cautious about everything. Like, what is that? What is that? A something there? It's a rock. Huh. Okay, well, I suppose we can go and have a look and you see how the sun's just glinting off of that. Yeah. Okay. So this is what was confusing us. This glinting patch of something right there. Has this been drilled into? What is this anyway? What am I looking at? Ice. Okay. It's a large amount of ice. It's huge. Look at this ice deposit. This is just... Huh. Okay, do I mark this on a map? I mean, I should probably take a GPS waypoint, because this is a lot of ice. This is like, you could... I mean, there's no way that I can carry that much ice. It's just, no. My tiny little ship couldn't even carry that much ice. That's how much ice this is. Like, I think I could maybe carry that bit of ice. Just that section there. If we cut that off, that's probably how much I can get in my little ship. That's a lot of ice. Yeah, you know what? Waypoint. I'm going to make a waypoint. Going to make a GPS waypoint. Info. How do I make GPS waypoints? Here we go. GPS. New from current position. And yeah, I think we want to change all of that. And yeah, see? Simple. Easy. Okay, and that's what we have to do. Just literally. That's a worthy waypoint because that's a lot of ice. Which I don't need ice. But my gosh, that is a lot of ice. A thing worth seeing. I mean, that's got to be entirely ice, and there's probably some other minerals lurking in there as well. But that's just a lot of frozen water. Okay, anyway, where were we? Oh yes, that's right. Headed towards this moon, way over here. Things to see. I mean, wow. Just like the whole thing, it's just a massive chunk of ice. There's no rock there. I never expected to see something like that. And little things, you know, it's like it's made me very happy that there is stuff like that in this game, because it means that it's altogether possible that there's a massive asteroid of gold or a massive asteroid of platinum out there. Because ice is one of the more common elements, and like, you know, within a couple of hours, you know, we've stumbled across that monster. So we have hope for finding rich stuff out here, and maybe finding the need to actually build a lot more cargo containers. Or actually, you know, at some point I might actually entirely strip this thing down and rebuild it. Because, you know, why not? It's gonna quickly outlast its, or we're gonna be able. Basically, there's only so much modification I can do to this. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, I have no idea how we'd fit a like drone capability onto this. Yeah, we're going to want some sort of drone, at least for like scouting and preferably gathering resources. I'd prefer it if like we, rather than having to get out of the chair of this thing, you know, we have a drone that goes out. Not only can we have an ore detector on the ship, we can have an ore detector on the drone as well, you know. I mean, the ore detector is pretty freaking useless on the big ship. On a big ship like this, because it takes so much power. I'm not even kidding, right? See how our power level, you'll see down in the bottom right corner, it says 0. We're using 0. Our fuel is, we're not using any power right now. So like we can keep going forever, infinite. Just cruising along through space like this, just for the rest of forever. Watch what happens when I put this thing on. Now I bound it to 6, so we're going to hit 6, and watch the power usage on this go up. Okay, that's weird. I swear the power usage on that thing is absolutely freaking insane. Although nothing happened. Oh, I know why. It's because we don't have the refinery or the... Yeah, no, when it happened I was using the refinery and the assembler, and like we were at 0 still using the refinery and the assembler at the same time, cruising along, and I've flown up to this asteroid, turned that thing on, and suddenly our power usage was at like 45%. I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of power. Yeah. Not so bad when the assembler and the refinery are off. This is good to know. This is good to know. So we can actually go scouting around asteroids. Because that had dissuaded me from doing that. But now, you know, bit of testing. And we know better. Because, yeah, I had to have, like, the basic refinery and the basic assembler running to obviously make all of this stuff. We don't have any resources at all, though, if we have a look. Well, we have resources, but it's all refined. So, yeah, we've got quite a bit of nickel. We've got a little bit of iron left. We've got a ton of gravel. Anyone wants some gravel? I have lots of gravel for trade. We still got our uranium. We can't refine that. We've got magnesium, though. We've got cobalt, and that's an important one. We've got quite a lot of cobalt, actually. Well, not as much as nickel, but, you know, cobalt's actually a little bit harder to refine anyway. It takes a little bit longer. But we do want to find some silicone. Or silicon. Yeah. Or silicon. Silicone, silicon, silicon. Huh. Never was sure on the pronunciation of that one. I've heard too many. I've heard it said too many times in the American, I suppose. I still say aluminium, aluminium though, because aluminum, no. It does amuse me how it's like they'll try and argue the point. Is like, excuse me, who invented the language? That's kind of like your win card right there. Oh, we are almost out of O2. You'll have to excuse me. I am literally 2 glasses of wine in at this point. So yeah, mistakes will be made. Expect errors. I think that asteroid that we're actually approaching, that's now completely obscured that moon. I think we might actually make a little pit stop there. See if we can find any minerals of any description at all. Like I said, we're still keeping our eyes peeled, because let's not be stupid, you know? And yeah, we're running with our antenna off, but at the moment we're on a mission. We're on a mission to that moon, and ideally we don't want to be interrupted. We don't want people following us. Or giving away our exact location so that someone can come along whilst we're logged off and, you know... And there's a high likelihood of someone coming along whilst we're logged off and just destroying the ship. We've been lucky so far that we haven't been discovered. And I really need to start slowing down soon-ish. For obvious reasons. Okay, yeah, we started our burn a little bit early, but I prefer to be safe than sorry. We can just cruise in real gentle. Not in any hurry. You know, we don't have to pancake ourselves against... I think we'll do 30 meters. Yeah, 32 meters a second. Let's see what... Is there a cave in there? Possibly have a cave. Okay. No cave. Okay. turn on our ore detector. Nothing. Okay. Come on, Mr. Ore Detector. What are you telling me? It's probably saying it's just a big rock and there's no ore. Let's not go too far. Oh, no, we've got magnesium. Okay. We're just going to scoot down and get a bit of a reading from the bottom of this rock. Looks like it's just magnesium up at the top. We don't actually need magnesium though. Okay, and we're going to shut that down because, my gosh, that's a lot of power it uses. Although my engines also use a lot of power as well. Now, do we carrying on? Or do we scoot around these local asteroids a little bit and look for some ores? Ores is boring though. Also, where is that moon? Oh, there it is. Okay. Now, I've got a feeling we are on the wrong side of this planet. And that moon could quite possibly be on the far side of that planet. Which is going to give us some problems. Because it means that we are risking running into the gravity well of that planet. That's not a terrible thing, but it will dramatically increase the amount of power that we use as we cross the gravity well, because we're constantly going to be fighting against the pull of gravity, trying to drag our ship down. That's not good. Because obviously, you know, we want to try and be a bit efficient about how we use our power, even if we've got like an almost infinite amount of it, thanks to Mr. Sun over there. You know, the fact that our batteries are just constantly recharging most of the time. So we should have like just a large amount of power. I should really check on that though. Wow. Okay, so yeah, they're on charge anyway, and they're recharging. Do we try and shortcut and scoot across the planet's outer gravity well? It won't be too bad. I mean, we're not going to be dealing with more than sort of 10% of that planet's gravity. Maybe. I don't know how large that planet, unless it's like made of some stupid, ridiculous material, is just going to have a normal, I don't know, maybe Mars? Maybe Mars level gravity, maybe a bit more. I don't know. It's not going to be more than sort of... I can't tell at this range though. It's hard to tell. I mean, that little red thing we're headed towards, and we say it's a moon, that could be the same size as Mars, which means that planet over there is going to have one heck of a gravity well. But then that moon would be farther away, because otherwise... But is the physics engine that advanced? I don't... Oh... Okay, no, we're gonna go with the theory that that's a standard moon, that's a standard planet, so that's going to be maybe putting out 1 g of gravity, and that moon's putting out a moon gravity. So, and if that moon's on the other side of the planet, we are going to skip the gravity well. Okay. Yeah, these are so many. There's so much unnecessary impossibles going in. I shouldn't do it really. I should just sort of pick a plan and go with it. Excuse me, just having a quick sip. Okay, lovely. Doing a red tonight. It's good for the blood, apparently. Anyway. We've already travelled over 60 kilometres, so we've been going for like 10 minutes now, since we hit the large ice spot. That might be handy for on the way back. I don't know yet. but like with the unfinished solar panels, in certain light, it does look kind of, I don't know, sort of pretty. And I'd almost say that like it's not a respawn ship anymore, but it really is just the respawn ship with a few minor modifications. Took me ages to do, basically because I was having to mine rock for like the extra bits that we didn't have ore for. Also, I should have a look at... Okay, yeah, no, we're fine. Our interior turrets haven't fired at all. Our interior turrets, because they're on the outside, and you know they're effectively doing what bigger gun turrets should be doing. I did put them to shoot down meteors and missiles as well. I'm not sure how effective that's going to be. I really am not. Probably not very at all. But something's better than nothing, you know? Okay, we can't see any rocks. I think that's because, yeah, look at that. See what happened there? For some reason, it doesn't load in the... When we travel past a area that it's loaded, it doesn't load in the next area until you leave your seat. That's bad because it means that we can fly into rocks. That's also bad because it means that great void area that we flew through and we thought it was a massive empty void of nothing, we were probably really, 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 really lucky to not hit anything. Those are some interesting shaped rocks over there. I do want to build CCTV for this. I really do. If I can get a TV camera, well, not a TV camera, you know, just a remote camera, we can use it for visuals. But I'm actually not even sure we can build that. No, we can't even build thrusters yet. That's something we actually do need to work on. So construction components, motors. Okay, so we can build wheels. We can't, it doesn't look like we can build cameras yet, but we can build spotlights and we really need to not be doing that too much. Yeah, sometimes that's the thing I do. I'll get distracted by something and not pay attention enough, and especially after a few glasses of wine. I'm going to be honest. I think this is something that affects everyone. You just get distracted by stuff. But yeah, we need to learn how to build thrusters, and I think that's going to be building wheels, and then it's probably going to have us build something else, and then something else, and then maybe we'll be able to build ions, because we do need to be able to make ions before, or ion thrusters, before we can disassemble the ones that we've got and move them onto a new frame to support a new ship. don't need to stop there, really. Apparently there are bases on asteroids as well, which it would be interesting if we found one of those, perhaps. That's an interesting shape over there. So, yeah. I know that's a rock, but it's still a very, it's almost a unique enough shape for me to go and take a look. And I know that that is just a series of rocks as well. If I had a camera, I could look at this stuff, but I don't even know how to make a camera. But yeah, I did discover that by building all of this stuff, you build stuff to unlock stuff. I had to build a beacon to make an antenna. I didn't turn the beacon on, I'm not stupid, but like, you know, that's the thing that had to happen. And it does sort of look like a bird, I think. Maybe a little, you know. What do you think? No, I actually don't care what you think. Because I know what you're thinking. Looks nothing like a bird. Stop being stupid. Looks like a noob ship. Oh, there's a lot of stuff glinting around down there, though. And I know they're just rocks. I'm going to go and take a look. I can't help it. I have to go and investigate. I know they are rocks. I know they're just small rocks underneath the thing, but I have to go and look. Just in case it isn't. Just in case it's something else. It's a long, long time ago. This is a story for you. Yeah, I know there's a story coming. So, long, long time ago. Back when this game was new and young. Cargo ships had been around for a while, you know. And we all sort of had a lot of fun with cargo ships and taking them apart, learning how to take them apart without getting shot or blown up. All kinds of fun like that. But then they introduced shipwrecks. And one day, all on my own, flying through space in a tiny little ship, way smaller than this. Way smaller than this. Wasn't even a respawn ship. Miles away from the station, way out past where I should have been, way out past where it was safe. Ran into a large abandoned ship around an asteroid, very similar to this one. Got inside the ship, got to a control panel, went to the ship's info, saw the ship's name. Botany Bay. I swear to God, I crapped my pants and started looking around for something that was going to murder me immediately. There wasn't anything. I did a thorough scout of the ship, found absolutely nothing. Got a lot of heavy armor plates out of it though. Well, heavy armor blocks at the time. So it was a lot of steel plates, and this was before you needed steel grating or anything like that to build heavy armor. You only needed more steel plates, many more steel plates. Also had a lot of other stuff on it as well, like small power plants, assemblers. And there I was in my tiny little ship with just a medium cargo hold. Yes, a small ship, not a large ship frame like this. A small ship frame with a medium cargo hold. Yeah, around about the same capacity as this. Only smaller. I want to change course back to the moon, really. It was just rocks. Anyway, on with the story. Yeah, many, many, many runs backwards and forwards, salvaging up this ship. For about 2 hours. And then a mate of mine logged on and we managed to get it done in a couple of runs after that. But still, you know, the story stands. And it has witnesses because my mate saw it, so, you know. Or he saw like half of it. I'd stripped down like so much of it and so many of the components. He was actually kind of mad because he was like, "Why didn't you fly it back?" And I was like, "I don't know whether there's a bomb hidden inside this thing, because that's a thing. Like, put a thruster to a certain direction, you know, and then have a bomb on the hot burny end of the thruster, and then when someone presses like the wrong direction, the whole ship go boom boom." Yeah. We learned that one salvaging cargo ships, so I wasn't taking any chances. I didn't, you know, this thing was stationary, it wasn't shooting, it was powered down. We built loads of ships out of it. We broke all of them, but we had a blast. We had we had so much fun. Because that's the thing in space engineers. Early on, you'll crash a lot. Like, really a lot. Sounds negative, but it really isn't. It's a learning curve. You learn not to crash your ship and bust your stuff that is taking you freaking ages to make. And you just learn to be careful and pay attention to your surroundings and just always be on the lookout and looking around. And if you happen to see something headed towards you, you know, you can always put your antenna on, and if it looks like it's unfriendly or it comes up in a red box and says "I'm unfriendly," just run. Plot a hazardous course. What you ask is a hazardous course. Well, you fly away from it as fast as you can, preferably on a fairly hazardous course. So, like, down between those if something appeared behind us, I'd be like scooting down between those asteroids and just making it difficult for something to follow me in a direct line, you know. And if they're not following in a direct line, obviously they're going to be losing distance because they're going to have to change course repeatedly. So yeah, like a hazardous course is basically try and fit your ship between those asteroids at high speed without manoeuvring. You know, it's just line yourself up and run, and hope that the other guy's not quite as good as you. That's your best bet. And if he's bigger than you, then, you know, that works in your favour as well, because he's going to look at that gap and go, oh, nope. We're just gonna... There we go. We were getting short on O2. That's a lot of rocks out here. And I should realistically be looking for, like, because we've got one bit of ice marked, but ideally I'd like to find the other elements as well. Platinum, gold, uranium. We've got uranium, but, you know, platinum, gold, silver, silicon, all the other ones. Nickel, iron, I mean, we need all of that stuff to build ourselves a new ship that, you know... I like this ship though, although I've been told it's extremely dangerous to be flying around in one for any protracted period of time because they have a habit of, well, some people have reported that they have a habit of just suddenly disappearing. I don't know, my one's been going for a while now, and I'm going to be honest, it seems fine. It seems totally fine. I do want to have a look in our inventory. So we've still got all of our space money, yay, and we've still got all of our interior plates that we had. We've got our medikits, we've got our canvases, and all of our and obviously the uranium. We've used some ice. Probably should have mined some more ice. Never mind. Realistically, we use ice for like just refilling our suit. We don't even bother pressurizing our cabin. You know, you live like a Scrooge. If you're not, why waste resources like that? It's if we had an O2 farm, I'd be fine with us pressurizing something. We don't have an O2 farm. We probably could build one though. I ought to have a look actually. I mean, if we have an O2 farm, I'd have to build it up the front here. So, because we know that there's a conveyor there, conveyor block right in there behind that bit of conveyor tubing. So we just shave off the other side there, and we could probably have an O2 farm coming out. Do I want to do that though? And I suppose it would help our longevity because we can just have like the O2 farm filling up our cabin effectively. Our O2 generator won't fill up our cabin. Well, our O2 generator actually will fill up our cabin. If we turned off our O2 no, that's stupid. Huh. Have to put an O2 tank in. Then our O2 farm can fill up the O2 tank, and then it doesn't matter. Something to think about. Yeah, like I said, we're going to have to do a strip down on this ship at some point anyway, and there's no point adding more anything to it. Otherwise, it's just going to make landing on that moon and getting off of it again more difficult. And I'm not interested in making things difficult for ourselves, you know? We're going to go the easy way. We're going to do things slow, easy, simple. Because let's be honest, I do simple the best. That sounded really derogatory to myself. I don't know, isn't there someone who said something really famous sometime? I think that's even a quote that you can find somewhere in Space Engineers, where simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Yes! I'm not sure who said it, but someone way smarter than me. What's that down there? I'm looking at that rock off of our left wing. So follow our left wing out, and you see that rock floating there in space with those other three rocks sort of glinting nearby it. We're going to go and look. I know it's just rocks. But there may be a few of you that are like, it's not rocks, it's not just rocks. Go and have a look. These little detours aren't costing us anything at all. I mean, we run on sunlight, so you know, we're not having to run any of our power systems or power generators or anything like that. 4 solar panels is more than enough to keep this ship chugging along quite happily. So we're just going to go over and We're not even going to poke it. We're legitimately just going to go and have a look. Although we might poke it with a drill if we happen to see anything that looks like it could be extremely rich stuff. That's far too far away. I'm not even going to bother. It'll be great if there are like settlements down on the planet, because I'm pretty sure with our canvases we can build a care package, and we can. If there's settlements on the planet, what we can do is we can mine up some stuff, like we can stick it in a powered cargo container with some modifications to get it through the planet's atmosphere. I think you do need mods to get through the planet's atmosphere, because otherwise hot burniness can occur. I think that's a thing that can happen. Yeah, so to stop hot burniness, we'll build a heat shield for it. It doesn't have to be anything too special. It's going to have canvases, and the parachutes are going to deploy at a very high height anyway, so it won't even be traveling very fast when it hits the atmosphere in the first place. So all of these things are really good, which means that we can actually definitely. Ooh, we're rubber banding a bit. But we can definitely build some sort of care package. And I don't mean a bomb to send down to some... No, we're talking about an actual legitimate try and land this somewhere safe near someone's base. And it's full of all kinds of goodies and treats and surprises. But nothing that can actually explode. Are we going to test to see whether we can actually do that? I'm pretty sure it's probably been done, but I've never done it, so it's more a test to see whether I can do it. So that could be a fun interaction to have, Now I should have just used the ore detector. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, that'd be a dislocated shoulder in real life. Anything in here? What made this hole? Genuinely hoping it was something travelling very, very fast and not something with teeth. I'm thinking it was something going very, very fast. Or if it had teeth, it was on the end of a drill. Okay, anyway. Ugh. Let's get away from this rock before we kill ourselves on it. No, that is just a start. Okay, we're making some good distance. Making some really, really good distance. But we're also still keeping our eyes peeled. Because, like I said, open world, there's PvP, and we're in a really small, unarmoured, super lightly armed ship. We wouldn't last a microsecond against anything. Anything seriously comes at us, our best bet is to just run. We've got little to no hope of surviving an encounter against an armed ship of any kind. Like one rocket and this thing's toast. Well, one rocket in the right place and this thing's toast, you know. I'm thinking like you land a rocket right underneath the O2 generator in that gap. That would cause so much destruction. Especially if this thing happened to be moving as well. Because there'd be a huge amount of ice come out of the O2 generator because it's got over 10k of ice in it. That'd rip its way backwards through the ship. Obviously that explosion would take out that section that's holding. It would blow the O2 generator out, and obviously we'd have the ice flying around and causing all of those problems. It'd probably also take out the sort of catwalk that we've got going on underneath the O2 generator. So the head of the ship would effectively come straight off, as well as the back end of the ship possibly even exploding because of the ice moving backwards through the ship at speed. I don't ever want to see that. That's not something I ever want to have happen to this thing. Well, that would be some pretty devastating. That would basically end our play. We'd have to start all over, and I'd be sad. Now I might run this episode to an hour, possibly, maybe an hour and a half. It depends on what fun and games and shenanigans I find. If something fun happens in sort of like the next 5 minutes, like we find something hugely interesting and entertaining, I'll keep recording and keep going. If it doesn't, we can call it before it gets super boring because of the amount of talking that I'm doing. I don't know if you guys mind me talking a lot and narrating over this. I mean, effectively it's just me chatting about Space Engineers whilst I play Space Engineers, but I don't know, most boring game ever because we're moving very slowly across space with ions. We don't have a choice. We'd have to do a ton of construction and build a huge ship. I don't want to do that. Mostly because, you know, we kind of don't need to. We could spend, you know, like hours and hours building a huge ship with a jump drive, and then, you know, a couple of jumps and we're there. Or you can spend a couple of hours just flying there in the ship you got. I mean, it's, you know, it's like, which way are you going to do it? It's reverse Uno card. They're both the same. The result is you're probably going to get there at about the same time. Because yeah, building a jump drive, you're going to need loads of. Well, you're going to need gold, a lot of gold, because you're going to need superconductors, a lot of superconductors. You're also going to be able to need to refine that gold and build those superconductors in the first place, which means you're going to have to build a whole lot of other stuff first. Whereas this, we didn't have to do any of that. Literally, I mean, like I said, like 2 hours, 2-3 hours work tops, and that's including a paint job. I really hope that moon is everything I think it is. I really hope it's not some alien-filled hell world that we're going to deeply regret going anywhere near. Because we do need to, like, I mean, our luck's been okay. I'm not going to complain about our luck and how lucky we have been, because we have been super lucky to A, have this ship, this much stuff, and still be going. In this game, that's a number of factors right there, and they're all to do with luck, effectively, because there is so much that can go very, very wrong, very, very quickly. Yeah, I know, it's just a really, really dark asteroid. There are also space stations out here, not player ones, like I said, like, you know, spooky old haunted ghost stations. If you can find those, that's a lot of resources. So it's actually a really nice amount of resources as well. It would be a very nice boon to us if we find that. And it's altogether possible. This area of space has been stripped clean, but then space is huge, and finding this stuff is not easy. Because even with our sort of constant looking around, I'm certain we have flown past and probably missed a lot of stuff. And it's simply because space is really huge. And it's very difficult, even sort of floating eyes around all the time, to see everything. And obviously, there's going to be some misidentification going on. There's going to be stuff that I'm looking at and thinking, that's a rock. And in actual fact, that's not a rock. Of course, there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm looking at and going, that's a rock, and yeah, that's a rock, you know. Part of me wants to change course into those asteroids down there. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm just going to change course, head down into these asteroids over here because reasons. I know it's rocks, but there's a group of rocks, so I'm thinking this is going to increase our chances of finding a mineral we want because there's more rocks. You know, a rock has a X chance of having stuff in it. More rocks means that we've got more X chances of finding stuff. We could go over there, but that's just one rock. That's a lot of rocks. So we're going here. So we're going this way. Because we want to find, like I said, we want to find some rich stuff. We need to get some monies. Well, you know, valuable or stuff that we can trade for, like, stuff. Heck, maybe even a ship. You know, a really cool player ship. Player built, you know, looks really freaking awesome. Trade for some minerals. Maybe. You know. Although, I do kind of like... I kind of do like our respawn ship. Modified. It's totally fine. Totally fine for what we need it for anyway, which is by getting as close to that moon as possible and seeing if we can feasibly land on it. I reckon we can. The problem with ion thrusters is they don't like atmosphere. The more atmosphere you have, the less efficient they become. They don't. Their thrust is really weak as well, so they don't like any large amount of gravity either. Huh. Okay, let's... Whoa, ho, ho. What are you? Yep. Super happy right now. we got silver. Takes a while to mine this stuff, but gonna have to keep an eye on our O2. We should be fine though. I think we want to put our lights on though. There we go. Come here, you little silver rocks. Okay. I'm not sure we can even refine silver. I don't think we can. That's handy, because it means that we're not going to be using any power. And yeah, I know I don't have a full load of silver, but we're running dangerously low on oxygen. So I should probably, you know, refill. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the refinery won't do silver, the basic refinery. Okay, we're okay now for O2. We're okay for power as well. So we got ourselves a silver sample. I don't know if we should get more because we can't refine it, so we can't carry much of it. Whereas I know we can refine silicon. And we need to find rubber banding. That is some hardcore rubber banding. Okay. Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for players. Because the number of times that I've seen people just steal other people's stuff. Oh, is this something different? What are you? Okay, we've got nickel and we've got silver. We don't need nickel. This is a lot of silver. Okay. Okay, this is going to be more silver. Yeah, look. That's just big old chunk of silver. More silver. Yep. Is that more silver? Silver and nickel, yep. So we surveyed this rock. So pretty much all of these rocks all have silver and nickel in them. Like, not much. But like an amount, a usable amount. And then obviously there's a lot of rock. Yeah, it is. It's just all... Okay. I think I've figured out a name for this place. It's really obvious. We're going to call it Silver Rocks. Yep. That's going to be its name on our thing. Okay, yeah, we need to... OK list. Go GPS. New from current position. Yes. Okay. And we need to change the name. Silver Rocks. There we go. Perfect. So we're learning where places are. There's a fair amount of silver around here. That's another thing that we can trade though. Waypoints. Like, because we have technically got recorded evidence that like these waypoints lead to places with stuff, you know. We checked. We made sure. Anyone watching this, you know, it's like you've been here with me the whole time. So yeah, we have found stuff. So these waypoints could actually be worth trade as well. Although how much? They're worth a lot to us, and they could be worth a lot to other people, but how much is someone willing to pay for a waypoint? Probably not a lot. That looks like a massively smashed up pile of boulders over there. And there. From this distance, if I squint whilst I'm looking at that, it looks like Battlestar Galactica. Cool. Yeah, you squinted and you saw it too, I know you did. Okay, well, it looks like it's just been another episode of me flying along rambling, telling you some old stories about space stuff and playing Space Engineers long ago. And don't get me wrong, I'm not rose tinting anything, right? Space Engineers now is way better than it was back then. Like a million times over. I will take this version of Space Engineers over the old version of Space Engineers. Thanks. Because of the sheer number of things that could go horrifically wrong, but also the reduced number of available blocks. There weren't many. There wasn't much you could actually... Well, you could do a lot, but and at one point, your power choices were solar power, batteries, and uranium generators, and that was it. You had no hydrogen engines, you had no wind turbines, so you know. I'd definitely take this. I'd definitely rate the new version. That is such an interesting rock. Yeah, we've flown past the Battlestar Galactica rock now, and that's what it looks like from the rear. part of me is like, do I go over and check that because those dark splotches look really suspicious? But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, they're just caves. They're not going to be huge uranium veins. My God, what is that? I must go poke. Wow, our ship actually bucked a little bit there when we hit the decelerator. That's cool. Now I know. They're just rocks. I know. But at the same time, they're a really dark colour, probably because I'm looking at the underside of them or something and it's all shadows. But also, there's some unique shapes over there that I have to go and sort of look at to check. And also, it's a large group of rocks, so large group of rocks, you know, more likely to find stuff. Because instead of hunting one rock for X, you're hunting many rocks for X. Ah, it looks really unique. I should start slowing down soon. Okay. Where are we? In relation to everything else around here. Ooh. That's a unique shape as well. Okay, I'm going to scoot this in really uncomfortably close. For a couple of reasons. That being, we can use... What is that? That is one weird shaped rock. Oh, okay, there we go. It's finally rendered on my screen for me. Okay, we're going to hit 6 and we're going to see what's around. Anything? Nothing close enough to be interesting. Oh, please don't just be lame. It's going to be lame and it's not going to have anything at all. Do a quick pass through. Very low speed. Iron, nickel. Okay, we've got iron and nickel in there. Another really slow pass along the bottom end of this one. Hopefully we don't tear our antenna off. I think I plotted it close, but not too close. Nickel. Oh! Rubber banding. Dangerous levels of rubber banding. Okay, let's plot a course that's not going to have us rubber banding into a rock. Nothing at all? Really? Okay. So we found some nickel and a little bit of iron. There was some cobalt here. Like nickel, iron and cobalt all together in one area. If there was some cobalt and some silicone here, this would be actually a really good place to sort of low end, you know, get started. I'm not finding any of those other rarer elements though. I found absolutely no silicone at all. Silicone, iron, more iron. That's good. Okay, we'll just do a pass over the top of this. See if we can get another reading on that iron, or get a reading on something else that's maybe a little bit new. Ooh, hello. What are you? Oh, nickel. Okay. Okay, so what should we call this place? Because it needs a waypoint, really. I mean, we got nickel, we got iron. There's probably a little bit of ice, maybe lurking around this area as well. Likely, it's highly likely. Although we did sort of do quite a good survey and not find anything. Nickel and dimes. Oh, we need a... Okay. We know what that one means. Wait, did we... It's not showing up. We didn't save it, did we? No, we didn't. Okay, so we know to go K, GPS, new from current position. There we go. And we changed the name to because, you know, don't need a description. Don't need a description. It's really freaking obvious what that is. Even if nickel and dimes does make it kind of sound like some highway restaurant you'd find in the USA, possibly. Drive stops or something. Okay, well, we found some stuff, and this has now turned into an hour and 20-minute episode, which I didn't intend for it to run quite as long. But I feel like, you know, I've had some fun, and we've been investigating, we've been looking, and we've been searching, we've been creating waypoints and leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for ourselves, kind of like Hansel and Gretel, a whole trail of waypoints behind us. And those waypoints will all lead us back towards sort of, I think, the habitable planets. Back that way, the more habitable ones. The ones which are more likely to have a station of some kind doing some sort of trade above them. Because obviously the economy on these open world sandbox players from wherever and everywhere all playing together, you're going to have stuff going on, you know. Yes, there are douchebags, as I've said before, but there are also people who aren't no douchebags, and they tend to just get on with it, you know. Because believe me, blowing stuff up in space engines, whilst hilarious, will get very boring very quickly. Oh, server's going to restart in 5 minutes. Okay, that actually says to me that it's probably time I stopped recording. Stopped my little wee boat, my little wee space boat, and called it for the purposes of recording. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry if the episode bored you to tears. I'll try to do better next time. No, I'm not sorry, and I'm not going to try to do better next time. With that, have fun, play safe, and I will catch you guys later.